Today on the first segment, we're talking about Japan. I just got back from Japan, so I'm excited to be back.
Did you almost forget?
I almost forgot. And you also came back all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Which I'd love to forget.
No, you had a great time hanging out with U.S. soccer stars.
Legends.
All the stars. And we talk about a couple things going on, some robbery going on in France. It's still illegal there. I think people don't know. I think they forgot. And we talk about some shirtless soccer players in the stands, not on the pitch.
No, not at all. And in the second segment, we talk to Max Bretos. That's right, El Cubano. You used to remember him from ESPN, but now he is in charge of all LAFC content, and he's doing some amazing stuff. We talked to him about getting sunburned. We talked to him about rugby. We talked to him about soccer. We talked to him about NFL football. We talk about a lot of stuff, that and more, on this episode of The Cooligans!
Hi, I'm John Strong. I'm the large bald man who stands next to Stu Holden when you watch soccer on Fox Sports. You are listening to the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Let's go. I'm back, baby.
Not on television anymore.
Oh, no, I am on.
You see it, but it's not like that double. Word. It was Inception, bruh. You were on television.
That's right. For a second, I'm like, did we get canceled? Did you get information that I did not get?
You know, the odds are that we get canceled the week you're not here, and it's just me.
But no, I am back. I am back from Japan, and you got to travel a bit as well.
Yeah, I went to pretty cool. Went to Grand Rapids, Michigan, baby.
Fancy.
Okay.
But we will.
Oh, you're going to the Far East? Well, I'm going to Western Michigan. Okay.
What you know about that,
What you know about it, baby? We got WM, baby. I forgot which way it was going.
Anyway, hello. My name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerrero.
All right, we are your favorite stand-up comedians that host the funniest soccer show that you have ever watched on television.
And heard in your ears and stared at with your eyes. It's amazing.
That's right.
Because we're amazing. We're incredible.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm glad your confidence has not gone down.
Oh, it don't go nowhere, baby. It only keeps going up. Like my blood pressure.
But it's not only the funniest soccer show that you've ever watched or listened to.
But it is, though.
It is that.
It is.
Yes.
But it's not just that.
It's not exclusive.
It also happens to be the gulliest.
That's right.
Of all time.
When we start the show with WM, you know.
You know what I mean? You know what we mean? We don't mean waste management. Shouts to my wife's uncles.
You know they're watching.
Oh, they stay watching.
All right, always gotta keep an eye on Alexis.
On the asset.
What's he?
I mean?
All right, I'm just trying to make sure he's treating my sister all right or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, you know, this is the thing about Italian Americans. They don't say sister. They'll say my mother's daughter.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? It's the opposite. It's like, why are you adding more?
Yeah. It's just like
how dare you talk to my father's wife that way? Don't you mean mother? How dare you talk to my sister's mother that way? It's also your mother.
Okay. I always found this strange. I had a couple of my Colombian friends. They would be talking to like a sibling, and they would say, "Don't talk to my mom that way." Oh, but it's like. Or or don't talk to our mom. That it's like a strange. What do
you want them to say?
Well, it's just like don't talk to mom. That we have the same mother. Don't
the hour
or the my. It's just like why are you adding that identifier?
Yeah. It's like if you're saying something disrespectful, don't talk to your co-host that way. I mean me.
Okay, it's confusing for everybody. Who's related to who?
All right, somebody get out an org chart for this family.
So we are excited to be here, and we finally get to do an unboxing on the show. So. This is Alexis's.
We had them add extra cameras.
This is Alexis's bread and butter. If people do not know,
now I'm hungry
because he really just wants to eat on the show.
Did somebody say bread and butter? We should unbox food, yo. Someone send us food.
Yeah, just USPS, send us food. Okay, so let's get going. Why don't you open? What do you want to start with?
I'll start with this one.
Okay.
We covered up the addresses because we know y'all sneaky muff.
Okay, I'll open the small one. Okay, go for it.
This is cool. Look, we got a camera right up here.
This is crazy.
This is wild. You can even see the kicks.
Fubo.
Okay.
This is the kick cam as well. Okay, a pussy cam.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
We're like complex all of a sudden.
So Fubo, look at the effort that Fubo's putting. Okay.
Cooligans. Congrats for now. Only because I know there's more to come. Oh, okay. That's
Okay, because it sounds like a threat.
It sounds mad ominous at first. Congrats. For now, I'm behind you. Keep it going, and we'll keep the snug kids coming. Oh, okay, I know what this is. Let me know if you ever need fouler mouth guest. I doubt you would be. So this is, look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this.
We got, there it is. All right. David Beckham looking great.
This is from Tens Club. Oh, they sent us the kits.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo, shouts to Umbro Medium. We know that's yours.
Okay.
And
unless something drastically happened in Grand Rapids.
Intermittent fasting says I can eat for 8 hours a day, not 8 hours a week.
Is it intermittent fasting or a meth problem that Alex has?
Your boy's going to start doing cocaine, okay? You want to see me lose weight?
Unreal.
Look at these beautiful kids.
These are gorgeous.
You know what? This actually might fit me.
What do you mean?
Like, it's an extra large, not a double X.
Oh, okay. I'm like saying,
and they
it
said
should be your size.
He messaged me and said, what size are you? And I said, depends. If it's snug, double X. If it's big, extra large. And he goes, look out for an extra snug, extra large. So if you guys don't know Tens Club, Lucas Shanks. Shouts to Lucas Shanks, is the one who sent us this.
Tens Club is like a. I know it's a newsletter, but it's like it's not a store.
No, but every time they release a newsletter, they also put in a product. There's merch that comes along with the newsletter, and it sells out super quickly, and it's really hard to get. So your boy is wild excited.
Yeah, it's like a hype beast soccer.
Do you know this? Is it the Latino way to see if something fits without trying it on? Do you know this?
No, I don't know this.
So check this out, right? You go right where the armpits are, with the fabric, and then you go around. And depending on where it hits on the side, you'll know if it's tight or not, or big.
So where is it supposed to hit?
It's a little snug. It's all right. So look, if it goes like back here,
if it's hitting the love handles just right, or what?
Well, you know everything I do be hitting it right. Been married, okay. But if it goes back here, it kind of fits like loose. If it hits here, it's a little tight.
Okay.
And right now, let's just say, you know what, your boy could lose another 5 pounds before he puts this bad boy on.
Okay.
But shouts to Umbro, man. Umbro be making, look at this with the old school tie.
All right.
Look at this.
All right, I'll open this. This is I know who this is from. This is from Brandon Schechter, Gully Squad member, Atlanta United fan, great dude. We've hung out with him a whole bunch.
I don't even know if we're allowed to throw stuff back here. We're just throwing all of our garbage back here.
Hey, Fubo, pick up the garbage.
Hurry up in here. This place is a mess.
So my favorite thing here is that the note is written on a Chantix. Chantix, no, I don't know why. Isn't this the Ray Liotta one? Chantix, right? Am I right? Yeah.
That's right. Cialis? Cialis?
No, it's what is this for? What is Chantix for? I'm sorry. It's to stop smoking. Okay, thank you. Our producer here, JB.
No, we never stop smoking because if you want that smoke, you came to the right. Show.
All right, cool. Okay, so he says, ask your doctor about enhancing your supporter section with Chantix. Okay, so he goes, yo, Christian Alexis, congrats on the TV show. So excited every time I see it. Absolutely love what you guys bring to American soccer culture, and proud to be in Gully Squad. Thank you, man. I love the note I got from you guys with the stickers. Yes, I wrote that note. I sent him. You're
stickers. The one who writes the notes.
Correct. Yeah, because Alexis has a very tough time reading and writing.
It's not, I wouldn't put it on my resume as a skill. Also, my resume written in crayon.
In return, here are some of my Joseph stickers. So
which Joseph Martinez has.
That's right. These are stickers. If maybe we can get it on this camera. This is Angry Joseph. Look at that. So and he goes, I also figured you guys might need some more fly scarves for your new TV set. Enjoy, from Brandon. Thank you so much. Really dope. This is another Footy Mob. We have a Footy Mob scarf already, but this is the newer one.
The official Southern motto that they have, which says "Bless your heart" on it.
That's right. Look
which
at that.
We know really means something disrespectful. I didn't know that. I was told that a lot my first time in the Southern. I'm like, man, they're so nice here.
So
as
thank
I cut them off. How about this? Look, this is to show love to the people who show love to us, which is what we say. Each supporters group in Columbus that makes up the Nordeca, which is their supporter section, has donated an item of merchandise to send to us. We appreciate all you do to promote and support soccer in America, and we particularly love and appreciate the way you show love to Columbus crew, especially during the Save the Crew moment. Saved the crew because of us.
That's right. We
saved the crew. If you notice, we did a comedy show for the Columbus crew when they were almost going to be sold or moved to Austin, and we were like, nah, son, we showing up. And we saved them. You're welcome. Congrats on the new Fubo Sports TV show. Shouts to you guys. #StayGully. So look, they numbered every item.
This is
and
incredible.
They've given us a note with what it is. So here, number 1, the 2019 Nordecke Respect Your Roots scarf. Nordecke, or Northern Corner, is a common banner for which all the supporters groups are represented.
I also think, is it pronounced Nordecke?
They have it right here on how to spell it, Nordecke.
Nordecke, okay, cool.
Okay,
just make it sure, because it is Alexis.
Let's just say the wrong person picked up the letter, okay? But we're trying.
Okay.
All right, so that's the scarf. You're doing that. Number 2, Crew Union T-shirt. One of the supporters groups with the longest history in Columbus. Shirt should hopefully be Alexis' sized. Also threw in some beverage koozies the next time Christian is getting White Claw wasted. So you know.
How I do. That's a standard Tuesday for me, baby.
3, La Turbina Amarilla scarf, which is the Hispanic and Latinos, the Latino supporters
Beautiful.
group.
It is Hispanic Heritage Month, so that's
we know from the 15th through the 15th. Number 4 is the Murderers Row.
We got 14 days left. We got to capitalize.
Here you go. That is the Murderers Row T-shirt. Number 5 is they put everything in exact order, like from 1 through 6. This is great. From 1 through 7. Number 5 is the Greater Columbus Golden Boys and Girls scarf, commonly referred to as the GCC bag supporters group and lifestyle brand. Okay, you got a lot to open up. You better hurry up. Stop showing everything.
We got a koozie.
Number 6 is the Hive scarf, the youngest supporters group and capos in the game. Oh, we met her in. There's a photo of us.
Oh my God!
There's a photo of us. We met her in Chicago. She's the youngest supporters group.
Yeah, the Crew Bee.
The Beehive, yeah.
The Crew Bee.
But she sent the scarves.
Look at this.
This is crazy.
Believable.
This is Christmas right here, dude. There's one more thing.
Hold on. Get that. Okay, yeah.
Someone sent us a photo of ourselves. Thank God we're not wearing what's in that, huh? Yellow Nation Army Hell is Real T-shirt. Former supporters group who have disbanded but popped up once a year to throw a great tailgate party and announced their return in 2020. Not included because they were out of merch, but I got tired of waiting, but we still love them. Hudson Street Hooligans and Gate 5 Collective. So shouts to everyone.
There it is.
You know, if all these people showed up to a Columbus Crew game, maybe they wouldn't have been needed to be safe.
Nah, man.
We love you guys.
Love. Thank you so much for all this stuff. And this was Charles Campesano who put all of this together.
Yes, it is.
And Charles is he came to the World Cup Comedy Tour show that we did in Columbus. Great dude. Has triplets.
Yes, he does.
He has other kids.
His wife was from the Bronx, I think, right? Or he is.
Oh, I don't know.
Somebody's related to the Bronx somehow in this family, so shouts to them.
But they're in Ohio now.
Yeah, they're in Ohio where it's safe. But shouts to you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome.
So, okay, so I was in Japan, and I'm excited. I'm wearing this rugby kit.
It looks amazing.
Thank you. I was...
rugby got some dope kits.
Yeah, this was... so this Japan's kit... they're obviously in the Rugby World Cup. So that's what was going on while I was in Japan. The Rugby World Cup was going on.
Yeah, so you posted something on Instagram saying all these thick Argentines running around.
A lot of thick Argentines with the sh in their Spanish.
Yeah,
all right, there was a lot of that, which was cool. It was. I expected to not be able to really interact with many people in Japan since I don't know Japanese.
Right.
But Japanese people speak their English is like they can get by.
Yeah,
which is impressive, and everything is in English.
I bet you more people speak English in Japan than in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm gonna say.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. You know, but I did have a good time, and I did bring you back some stuff. I know we'll get to all the soccer stuff, but I did.
Guys, this is more. This is what I want. More and more gifts. Can we just turn this into a gifting podcast?
I did. This is for you.
Oh, okay.
I got you something nice.
I've never brought back Christian a gift from any one of my travels.
It's a fan.
Hey!
And what's on it?
It's 2 pictures of me.
It's sumo, guys.
It's 2 sumo
and
guys.
you can fan yourself a little bit if you get a little hot, you know?
You know, maybe if one of my jokes hit. You know, this is beautiful.
And I brought this for you and for everyone here at Fubo Sports as well.
I do not share. Let's get.
So I'll open this, and this is some matcha chocolate.
Ooh.
So
Everybody wake up.
So that's for everybody in the studio. So you guys feel free to have some, and I got some other snacks in here that you guys.
Well, thank you very much. Good.
So feel free to have some, Alexis. So let's start in soccer.
Let's go to France.
Let's go to
As
France.
I open chocolate, and I'm definitely going to eat a piece. Let's go to France because a bunch of people tweeted this at us.
Yes.
We had seen
This is right up our alley. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, allegedly, a watch had been stolen from the locker room at OGC Nice, which where Patrick Vieira
was the coach. Yes.
right? And was Balotelli not removed from this team? Was he not on this team last year?
Last year he was on the team, but
Yeah.
no, not this year. He's not. I don't even know where he's playing right now.
Ooh.
Was it good?
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
We got an approval. Matcha's really good.
You know what it tastes like? Kind of just like milk.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm getting chocolate now.
There it is.
There it is. A little delayed.
So if you guys don't know the story, so the Nice forward Lamine Diaby Fadiga.
Thank you for doing that because I was not.
So when we originally saw the story, he was facing dismissal from the team, but he is now gone.
He is gone.
He is gone from the team. But the reason was because there's his teammate. Dolberg, right?
Casper Dolberg.
Casper Dolberg. He is he's new to the team. Obviously has his own locker. Brings some of his stuff there and puts it there as you do.
He brought a 70,000 euro watch.
Okay.
Which, what's that in dollars? Like 85?
I don't know, but it's more than
85,000.
It's about the same euro. The
What is it in yen, Mr. Japan?
the pound. I don't know why we're having this conversation, but the pound is more than the dollar.
Yeah.
But the euro is about the same.
Anyway, very expensive watch.
Very
These
expensive
people make
watch.
a lot of money. He puts it in his locker, and he's like, everything should be fine. And then here comes
Because I'm a
Diaby.
professional soccer player from a big club.
We all respect each other. We respect the locker room.
Okay,
and
this
Diaby's
isn't
like, yo, forget all that noise. I want me this watch.
So so the player
He overgullied.
He
stole the watch.
But he just okay.
You know what you do? You put it on, you take a couple photos, all right? You send it to your girl. You know what I mean? You act like you got it. You throw it in the IG. People will think it's yours. You don't steal the watch. You don't take it home.
Realistically, especially when you're a professional footballer and you're making good money, even if you're pretty young.
Right.
Casper Dolberg is 21 years old and can afford without risk.
Allegedly can afford. We don't know his finances.
I'm assuming he can afford a $70,000 watch, right? So this is just a ridiculous like. It's just like rich people. You know how rich white women steal from like department stores?
Yeah,
but
from, like, Macy's.
it's just because they need it. You know what I mean?
They need to feel the thrill,
the adrenaline of stealing. It's like they can totally buy it, but that's not fun.
No, you know what you do? Like, if you steal a watch, you're going to get caught and in trouble. Here's what you don't get in trouble for. Rub it in between your butt cheeks. Now, here's what'll happen. You didn't steal it, right? But what you did was you put something personal on
Bro,
it. The next time he puts that watch on, you kind of giggle to yourself.
I've been to your house. I'm not going to touch your stuff anymore.
I've been to your house.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not touching my stuff either.
You should want to touch your stuff anymore. That's what you do, right? And then Casper's like, how'd I get pink eye? I can't play anymore. And now you're back on the field, baby.
Wow. New manager over here.
Oh, did you see nice? It's not nice anymore. These MLS playoffs, man, it's mostly set, right?
Yeah, and the Eastern Conference is set. The Western Conference, nobody wants to host a game.
No. They're like, no, you do it. No, you do it. No, you do it.
Yeah, it's like a dinner party. They don't want to,
It's the opposite of everybody wanting to pay, though. It's like, no. You promised you would. The funny thing is, it's like people complain about, like, especially Euro snobs complain that there's just no excitement at the end of the season, blah, 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 blah. Now, you're dead wrong. This has been this is the penultimate weekend.
Yeah, even for the teams that actually can't make the playoffs and have nothing to quote unquote play for,
they could be the spoilers.
They could be the spoilers, but the games are still, at least somewhat entertaining. Even though, like this weekend, there weren't many goals scored per se, but there were a ridiculous amount of saves like that kept teams in contention.
Yeah,
or
no,
things like that.
goalkeepers were standing on their heads. Although I remember, was it the first half of all the games that happened this weekend? It was one goal scored. Super boring, but the second half got litty.
Exactly. Everybody's just gassed, you know?
Yeah, so like, oh, is this what we're doing? We're playing too much defense? How about we don't play defense at all?
But we have to talk about one moment this weekend that was absolutely fascinating. And this was with the San Jose Earthquakes. Your pick to win MLS Cup, who are currently not
outside of the playoffs. Well, here's the thing. I promised that they wouldn't lose MLS Cup. And if they don't make the playoffs, they will not lose MLS Cup.
So over the weekend, San Jose played. They hosted the Seattle Sounders and ended up losing the game 1-0. And everything, it's just like every time we watch games with players that have been on the show, Tommy Thompson gets a red card in this game. And I'm like,
there is a Cooligans curse.
There's a Cooligans curse.
Bit of a Cooligans
and there's a Cooligans effect. We don't know.
There's a Cooligans bump.
There's a Cooligans bump.
Sometimes there's a Cooligans bump. It only goes one of two ways. It either works out really well for you, or like we interviewed 4 people on FC Dallas.
Yeah.
5 people, right?
Yeah,
and I think only 2 of them are still with the club.
So, but they're also like in a weird place about making the playoffs as well.
Again, it's not our fault.
It's not our fault.
Probably our fault.
But if the team is successful or the player is successful, it is all because of us.
Well, we're lying because your voice just went up that often. It's not our fault. Yeah. I would never do that.
But if they fall on hard times, it has nothing to do with us. We didn't.
Right.
But Tommy Thompson gets the red card, which is unfortunate. But the San Jose Earthquakes still had a real good chance to win this game.
They still have a chance because there's 2 positions open in the West.
Yes.
6 and 7, Portland Timbers, FC Dallas, San Jose, and technically still Colorado Rapids.
I know.
Mathematically.
Crazy.
I don't know realistically, but mathematically still somehow involved.
Colorado didn't start winning games till like a month ago.
They were 0-9-2.
They were bad. Anyway, look, but I want to make sure we get to this.
I mean, they're the standings right there. You can see it. This is bedlam. This is what you're looking at.
But we have to discuss very quickly
Chris
Wondolowski, because he attended the match.
Yeah.
He attended it. He was not playing in it because he was suspended, I believe, for yellow card accumulation.
This is the previous match. This is the match against the Union.
Okay, correct.
That's not this weekend's. That's the previous match.
But we didn't get to talk about this, right? So because that happened after we recorded. But Chris Wondolowski is playing.
So he's suspended.
He's suspended in this game.
And now, what would you do if you were suspended for a game? You'd go home. You'd watch it on TV with your family.
What?
Chris Wondolowski's like, why don't me and my mates get together and just party it up a little bit?
Because we family, right?
There he is. He went with the supporters.
The Ultras, the San Jose Earthquakes Ultras, which are known to be a rowdy bunch.
They're a rowdy. They have the longest bar in North America at their venue, and they use it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And they got pretty wild. And I don't know if we have the particular
Chris
photo.
Wondolowski. Am I right?
We thought of that particular. But when Chris Wondolowski, when the goal was scored, I forgot who scored in the game, but Wando took off his shirt
and was partying. He was going ballistic with his shirt off.
Yeah.
Although I did notice there's security behind him.
Of course. He also he's the leading goal scorer in MLS
history.
All right. These Ultras get a little rowdy. They don't know who they're mosh pitting with. But
I love that there was like a woman next to him who was like, I don't know, should I high five him? Am I allowed? Their security's legitimately like catching people who are trying to jump on Chris Wondolowski.
Sure.
And Wondolowski's going all out. He's like, bleh.
Exactly. That's how we need to be. We need to have full security when we hang out with the Ultras.
I know, dude. I want people doing this, like putting their fingers up against their ear.
Okay.
Like, what?
Hey, you too. It's like, you're too close, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Back up. They're just choking dudes left and right.
We have Jamaican bodyguards all of a sudden.
That guy was walking by. There was no need to choke him.
No, but I felt threatened, okay?
Get him! We just yelled at a lot.
That man was cheering too loud. It made me uncomfortable.
I want at least 3 feet around me with nobody in it.
Just a bunch of empty seats like right around us.
Yeah. If I drop one nacho, there's too many people around me. This is a nacho zone. Nacho seat.
This is nacho. But this is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if this has happened in soccer where an active player goes in and cheering with the Ultras. The
last time I saw was Las Vegas Lights. The coach got booted and he went up and started smoking cigarettes with the supporters.
Right.
Just ripping cigs.
Imagine Wando just with a cigar out there.
Wando's just lighting up a cigar like, oh, are they playing soccer? Done it before a couple of times.
I'm quite familiar.
So we covered a little bit about the Western Conference.
Yes.
There's a little bit left to go. Nothing left to play for on the Eastern Conference. It's pretty much all set. NYCFC finishes top of the East, so they have a bye.
Yes.
Right.
After they lost to New England, which was a great game, by the way. They lost to New England, and then Columbus beat Philadelphia.
Which gives them... So there was videos of them started partying in the locker room when they found out.
Yes.
They took the photo. We got some friends there, right? Woody's in the photo. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So now all of a sudden, NYCFC is considered a favorite to get to MLS Cup.
Yes.
Which, if LAFC is bumped out in the playoffs, that means... It would be a home game for NYCFC if they make it.
If they make it to the final.
Here's the problem. It's more of a homeless game.
That's a little bit of an issue. That's right.
They've got no home. They've got nowhere to play.
So
because Pinstripe Bowl, which is a football game, an American football game, a college football game, is being played at Yankee Stadium, which is a baseball stadium.
Which don't they know that there's already a couple occupants.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Also, you guys own this team. Have you thought about this yet? But then, what about Citi Field? Remember last year there was a game just before the playoffs.
Yes.
Played at Citi Field. Played there. Nope, there's a golf event in that baseball stadium. So you can't play soccer in that baseball stadium because there's a golf event.
So I didn't know that. There's a golf event?
There's a golf event.
Okay.
At a baseball stadium. So you can't play soccer at a baseball stadium because of a golf event. You can't play soccer at another baseball stadium because of a football event, an American football, college football event. So then, what about Giants Stadium? There's a football there's a game going on. There's a Jets game, and there's not enough time to turn it around.
Correct.
And it would be kind of embarrassing for MLS to play a MLS Cup with football lines on the field, right?
We also can't forget the New York Yankees will be in the playoffs and will affect playoff. It's very possible.
There's a lot going on.
It's very possible that NYCFC will not play one of their postseason games at Yankee Stadium.
At Yankee Stadium.
That's a possibility.
That's, a distinct possibility. Now, I actually like the field at Citi Field. I thought that was a fun game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you lose too much of a home field advantage there because people can still get to it. You just wait on the train a little longer.
It's just mildly upsetting for a lot of people. I think for the league.
That's like imagine I invited you to my place for dinner and we just go to my neighbor's apartment. Like, no, that's fine. He'll be cool with it. You know,
he'll have to be.
Yeah, he'll better be, or you won't know what I rubbed in between my butt cheeks. You know what I mean? You'll never know. Here's a hint. It's your toothbrush.
What end? What end? You will never tell.
No. And you won't know how much I enjoy it. I love this show. How long before we get bleeped and stuff like this? So there's a very real possibility that NYCFC may have to play MLS Cup at Red Bull Arena.
Okay, so yeah, that's that's
never gonna happen.
It would upset so many people.
Red Bull can't let that happen, right?
I think they would.
You think they'd allow that?
It's not even allow it. It's just like they're going to be paid for the. Why not take the money?
You can't. Red Bull fans would go ballistic
if NYCFC won. If they won
MLS Cup in their house. You know, like Arsenal fans yell, "We won the league in White Hart Lane."
Yeah.
That would immediately.
Oh no, it'd be bad.
That would destroy everything if you're a Red Bull fan. It would destroy the world.
It would be bad. It would be. But I think the
Red Bull fans,
franchise would.
Red Bull fans would block the entrances. They would never allow. They'd be like,
the bus is coming in. They're like they form a wall.
Yeah, no, they're all holding. It's like that. What's that? The tank with the guy standing in front of the tank.
In Tiananmen Square. Yes, it's the same thing.
It's just about it's about as evenly weighted.
The same, but real just deep meaning behind it.
The photo will live in infamy. That's for sure.
No, man. I think the Red Bull brand, the company, they would consider it, but it would be.
They would not consider. You can't allow it.
I agree. They should not allow it, but they would think about it a little bit.
They would start like counting the money.
How much exactly? All right. Okay.
Tell me one more time. How much? Just whisper to my ear.
No, it is. It's unfortunate. I think as far as NYC, look, everybody. everybody's talked about it, and they get frustrated every time we have to hear it, right? When away fans of any team, they show up to Yankee Stadium to play a game, they tweet at us like it's our fault.
As if we picked the venue.
And they're like, all the time, every week, it's always, how is soccer allowed in this venue? It is too tiny, it's too ridiculous. And it's just like, hey, look, I don't know what to tell you, man.
We're like the GIF or GIF, whatever the hell you want to say, of that little kid being interviewed. He's like, with that, and we were like, it's great, right?
I don't know. We have a good time. It's fun.
I don't know. You drink.
You drink a little bit. I can't really tell. Like things.
Get the barbecue French fries. They're not bad.
Okay, I can't tell. It looks like it's like grass out there. That's all I know.
I see goals being scored.
All right.
Sure, I can't see past this, foul pole. But other than that,
but the players seem happy. I don't know what to tell you.
It's kind of sad. Go get a beer. Oh, does it come in a Yankee cup and not an NYCFC cup?
There's a lot of people, and who have been tweeting. I know Pablo Mara has done this as well of The Athletic. He's always like, he's like just wishing that MLS Cup is hosted at Yankee Stadium for the absolute shit show of the tweets, the MLS nonsense.
If you want to make it messy, you put it there. But I think even more messy is putting it in a Red Bull Arena. That would be epically bad.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there will be a lot of people upset with it. But the game has to be played.
Where else can it go?
Somewhere, yeah. But it
can't go to Hartford. That would be even worse.
That would be really bad. I don't know. I'm excited to see NYCFC's success for this reason.
I got an idea. Get a floating stadium in the Hudson, dude.
Sure. Okay, everybody.
Logistically, maybe difficult. I'll admit that.
Yeah, all the supporter section with floaties.
Everybody.
All right. We're doing TV, Alexis.
Oh, yeah. I should probably
remember
not talk
that.
to you.
You probably not.
I probably shouldn't talk to you right as you're coming back from break.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right. Whatever. Okay. If you expect us to be professional, you came to the wrong show.
Exactly. So, but we should talk about. We're doing this on purpose. We're not going to show the image, but we have to talk about
because it's gruesome.
But Gio Dos Santos, who plays for
who played for LA Galaxy, Mexican national team player. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's now playing at Club America in Liga MX.
He was bought out to final day, and they didn't want to keep him in LA.
That's right. And he was sitting out. Like there was no way you could keep all those players in LA Galaxy, right? And then all of a sudden they still got Christian Pavón.
They made it work somehow.
Nobody knows the rules. Okay, they're making it up as they go along.
But Gio Dos Santos in a match. Who were they playing against?
I believe it was Chivas.
Okay, yeah, and this is like one of the clásicos, right? This is a big game.
It's a big game, and Club America is the biggest club in all of Mexico.
Correct.
The largest, most winningest. So he's running a ball, 50-50 ball, kind of hops in the air, and the other player puts his foot up, which should be a red card. Yeah, right? Studs up. And you think to yourself, why don't you put your studs up? They got shin guards. Who cares? Well, what if that stud goes above the knee? The heel, in a very, very sort of hard and fast collision, just sort of catches the thigh of Gio Dos Santos. And what happens next is one of the most disgusting things. And I was like, please, everyone, stop sharing this video on Twitter. He legitimately takes a divot out of Gio Dos Santos' leg. He has
looking like the pitch at Yankee Stadium. Am I right?
Yeah, right. Which you won't see in the playoffs, so don't worry about that reference. He legitimately took out I said golf ball, but it might be even bigger. This might be like a baseball size. Why baseball? It might be a baseball.
Baseball at a golf event at a baseball stadium in Queens.
Everybody's confused. Okay, don't worry about it. It's not just you. He legitimately is a chunk of his leg missing.
Yeah.
I saw a dude who works at the bagel shop near me who's a massive Club America fan. And of course, it's a bagel shop where I have this conversation. Why would it not be? And I was like, yo, what happened with Gio? And he said, didn't hit an artery, nothing major, life-threatening. They put like a tourniquet apparently on his leg.
Yeah.
They stopped the bleeding right away. For some reason, there wasn't a ton of blood coming out, but I think even the body was like, ah! Was that a heel?
He was very much writhing in pain.
Apparently, even as he got in the stretcher, as he got in the ambulance, continued to be in pain. There was nothing that he wasn't given anything until he got to the hospital.
Yeah, it's just I've never seen anything like that. You don't even think that kind of injury can happen in soccer.
You don't think it's possible. First of all, shouts to the shoemaker, the cleats, strong. You know what I mean? What a commercial! Is it Puma? I mean, That's a commercial right there.
We gotta look at all the positives.
Yeah, the long studs apparently work. You know,
Get you good traction.
look what we could do in skin. Imagine what we can do on grass.
Okay, well, look, unfortunate for him.
I mean, the grip.
I just,
the grip alone.
I just love that your bagel shop guy is like has his he has a connection to the medical staff out in Club America.
Here in the streets. You know when they say like immigrants will come here and they'll do like a job like an Uber driver or a bagel shop?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a doctor where I'm from. Turns out it's true.
Yeah, exactly. while he's smearing your bagel.
He's like, you want that scoop and double toasted? By the way, turned out didn't hit an artery. You know? He's just hitting the bagel up.
That's amazing. Well, I hope he's okay. I guess he's going to be back.
2 to 3 months, supposedly. It's still ongoing as to like, I think they might have to like graft. Like skin, like there's a lot.
Just take some booty skin and put it on his leg.
They should just put like a piece of a cleat in there. You know what I mean? Just to remember. Also, if you're the guy who does
like a vet that keeps a bullet inside their body.
Like remember my what's it? I was going to say
crystals.
proctologist, but that's not the guy who fixes your foot.
I don't know. You know who you went to? Who'd you go to exactly? Because you might get in the wrong thing checked.
I think the lady at the urgent care who didn't know what she was doing was a proctologist.
Getting crystal shards up the butt.
Happens to the best of us, okay? Sometimes your wife doesn't come home for a while and you lose your mind. The podiatrist, right? He was like, stuff gets left in people all the time, like bullets. Remember that?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
Apparently, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get a cleat stuck in you. How do you take that cleat off if you're the guy who did that? You're like, you don't want to like touch all that blood and skin, right?
I don't know. You sign it, give it to a kid.
Yeah, there you go, kid.
You know where this boot has been?
The kid's wearing a Club America jersey. You're a big fan? You want a piece of skin from the player? You want that?
Anyway.
The kid's just holding this. Oh, this is great. This is fun.
Autographed chunk of skin.
Here you go, kid.
Anyway, we were talking. Gio did play for the LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
He did play for the LA Galaxy, and we should talk about their match against Vancouver. LA Galaxy, a team that are just kind of fighting just to stay within above the playoff line.
I thought it was Major League Zlatan. What a shock!
But it's so strange because I thought. When Barros Schelotto got to the team, I thought defensively they were going to improve, right?
He does play kind of like a Mourinho style. At least he did when he was with Boca.
Okay. And he can't fix those problems, clearly, right? I don't know. He can't motivate these guys.
Turns out he played no defensively at all.
Well, it's just like they're giving up less goals than before.
They're still giving up goals, but especially at the end of the goddamn match.
And to a team they should not. Vancouver
was eliminated at the beginning of the season. Vancouver started the season off with an E at the beginning of the E.
They're like, was this an era? And MLSsoccer.com was like, no.
We're just trying to save time in the future.
Okay? We don't got enough hands to handle all this stuff.
What do you want us to do? We're all hands on deck trying to find a suitable baseball stadium for NYCFC to play in.
You know how much manpower that takes?
We ain't got time to put E's on the beginning of the team.
It's just to give up 4 goals to the Vancouver Whitecaps. These Vancouver.
Vancouver.
No,
I mean,
Vancouver.
Maybe it fits. Shouts to the Southsiders.
No, but the fact that they give up 4 goals to Vancouver at this time of the season,
when Vancouver has absolutely nothing to play for. This is fitness regimen for them at this point.
It's bad. It's bad. It's just like and the goals that they did get were like flashy. The Uriel Antuna, his goal. Zlatan still doing work. Unfortunate. And
Zlatan can kind of win Golden Boot. Aren't they tied, him and Velez?
I don't know what. We got to look it up. We'll maybe at the break. After the break, we'll see what. But I know Vela already tied Joseph Martinez's goal scoring record, single season goal scoring record. So there's 1 game left. He might be able to break it.
They could either both break it, or it could just be, or neither one of them could break. I mean, what am I even saying at this point? It could happen or could not happen.
All right,
what a wonderful analysis, Alexis.
Our producer just told me Zlatan is 2 back. Well, it's kind of nice having a producer in your ear,
right?
Being like, "Hey, guys, you're wrong about that."
What I usually hear in my head is not facts either. So this is kind of nice having someone just be like,
"Shout out to our producer, JB. Thank you, man."
So at no point did he say "rub it in between your butt cheeks." So that's normally what I hear.
He didn't feed you that line?
No.
Surprise. So We are you were away.
I was in Grand Rapids.
You were in Grand Rapids, but you actually went for a really cool reason.
Yeah, this is
It
so
wasn't
dope.
just a vacation spot.
No, I do have a timeshare out there. It's really nice. It's a dumpster. No, it's a beautiful city. And they're doing great things. But all jokes aside. But remember, Kyle Martino was on our show when we were at the United Soccer Coaches Convention.
Yeah.
And he sort of showed us the paper mache thing of the over-under golfer thingy.
Yes.
The sort of the thing that to be able to play basketball and soccer on the same field. Well, they installed the first one in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Steven Herdsman, who played who played for MLS for a while ago, he actually runs sort of a camp out there. So he was like, yo, you got to do it here first. You guys could see the photo. Yo, we were out there with some real MLS legends. Not only was Kyle Martino there, but Jeff Cunningham was the third leading scorer all time.
Okay.
And MLS, 2 Columbus Crew legends. Shouts to Columbus Crew who sent us all those gifts. Edson Buttle was there. Hung out with Edson Buttle a lot. Lizzie moved back to New York. Can't wait to get him on the show.
Weirdly enough, Edson Buttle, while I was in Japan, one of my girlfriend's friends grew up with Edson Buttle.
I heard the whole story.
Oh, I did. So,
there is so much more.
Okay, no, I don't. Can we say this on television?
Oh, yeah, we can. And it, let's just say was not growing up. You know what I mean? It was very grown up, but it was not growing up. But Edson Buttle wants to do the show. So I got to hang out with Edson Buttle.
That's so dope.
How dope is that? But Jay DeMerit was there as well. A Vancouver legend. Jay DeMerit.
Love Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Vancouver till I die.
Who else? Lori Lindsay, MLS, women's national team, played in the World Cup, played for all 3 women's leagues, which is insane. And who else was there? I'm missing somebody else. Oh, Mike McGee.
Okay.
Took a car from Chicago to Grand Rapids on 1 hour's sleep.
He took a car, meaning he drove or something?
No. They got him a car.
They got him a car.
Yeah, he took an Uber.
Oh,
basically.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, from Chicago to Grand Rapids, which I think is 3 hours. It's 2.5 hours on 1 hour sleep. So shouts to Mike McGee going out for the kids. It was a blast.
Well,
and Renee Montgomery was also there, she was on the UConn undefeated team, and now she's the starting point guard for the Atlanta Dream.
Okay.
Which I didn't know that was the team in Atlanta. They named it after the Dream. Ooh. Remember the Dream?
The R&B singer?
Yeah. Okay. No, they didn't. It's just called the Atlanta Dream. It was a bit.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a cool thing. It sucks I had to miss it. I was in Japan.
Yeah, you were in Japan. It was pretty dope. So they lift this sort of goal up, and you can now play soccer on the same field that kids are playing basketball. So it's a way to install soccer and ice hockey, or roller hockey, I guess. Whatever. Got some ice out there, too.
Does the over-under include hockey?
It does. Street hockey. They played street hockey. They played basketball, street hockey, and soccer.
Okay, that's dope.
It turns out soccer players suck at those other 2 sports. It was so bad. But when they played soccer, they looked good.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And
Kyle Martino, who we have to get on the show again.
Who will be coming on the show.
We've been reaching out to him, and when his schedule opens up, we'll make it happen. But I've been playing in Street FC, which is in New York.
That's right.
And he has like just pickup games.
He's got like 10 million things going on, and we have 1. So it's pretty cool.
Exactly. Well, okay. Do you need more things on your plate, Alexis? I don't know if you do.
Ooh, more things on my plate. Your boy hungry.
But no, that sounds like a really cool experience. Hopefully, you shook hands with as many people as possible to get these people on the show. That's why we go to these things.
We're here to kiss ass and network, baby. Turns out it was Edson Buttle's friend's girlfriend. She used to date Edson Buttle's homie.
Oh, okay.
But I think she was there with her man, so she might have said, or he was. I forget, who did you speak to?
I don't even want to talk about this on the air.
I think they were just like, nah, I grew up with him.
That's all. I didn't ask many questions.
I gotta hit you with a wink.
It's not my business, okay? I heard Edson Buttle, and I'm like, you could have done whatever you wanted with him.
No, Edson. No, it was Edson's homie's girl.
Exactly.
And he's like, yeah, this girl who used to date my man hit me up. And he was like, says he's with your partner in Japan, and I'm on the same airplane as him. And I'm like, we're stalking you. This was all within like 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, well, first of all, he was in first class and I was not. So I texted Edson. I messaged him on DM. I was like, okay, first class. I got to talk to Kyle. He's like, I'm staying away from that. He goes, wait, you're on the Cooligans? I said, yeah. He goes, wait, isn't aren't you in Japan? I go, no, that's the other Cooligan. He's in Japan. It was a weird sort of.
But it's a.
We know everybody.
The 6 degrees of separation. It's not even 6.
No.
It's just like 2 or 3. That's how connected the soccer world.
Well, it turns out Edson Buttle knew this girl, and you somehow connected with her. Somebody rubbed something between the butt cheeks on there. Somebody.
The only thing being rubbed in between butt cheeks is toilet paper.
Yeah.
All right, nothing more. We don't want.
Maybe a wet wipe.
All right, we're not speculating or whatever. I know there were bidets in Japan. Those are lovely.
Those bidets are great. I grew up with one.
Really?
I had a bidet in my house.
I grew up with one.
It's super cute.
I grew up with one. Sounds like this is my homie. We close.
I was raised by this bidet. Came to my first baseball game.
My father figure is his bidet. Okay, He's been in some interesting places.
He keeps everything nice and clean. You know what I mean? Good water pressure.
Anyway, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. So it sounds like a cool thing.
To this day, I have no idea how to sit on that bidet. Is it out? But then all your stuff hangs off of it. Is it the wrong way? But it just doesn't make sense.
What stuff? What stuff hangs off of it?
It's not specifically built for guys, for Audis. Your stuff gotta hang off of it so the jet stream can hit your booty. I don't know how to explain it. As a child, I was very confused. Too embarrassed to ask. Still don't know how to use it.
If there ever was like a company, like a sort of instructional video for how to use a bidet, this is it right here.
You gotta let your stuff hang off.
Hey, what you doing? Oh, no, you're doing it wrong.
Don't tuck your stuff in. It's gonna get hurt. You gotta let it hang off.
Oh my goodness. I swear it's a soccer show. I swear.
We talk about soccer. We're wearing a soccer jersey and a rugby jersey.
So, Decision Day is coming up this Sunday, October 6th. There are going to be a bunch of great games in Major League Soccer. Make sure you watch them. They're going to be fun.
Yeah, they're going to be great. Thank you for...
This is a MLS/bidet commercial. Embrace it.
My friend's like, why you got 2 toilets? No, one of them goes up. Hey, we're breaking in real quick just to tell you about our sponsor, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek repping the Cooligans today.
That's right. Always the best.
Always taking care of you for all your ticketing needs.
That's right. Yo, you want to go to a game? Yo, the MLS playoffs are starting. There's also great comedy, great concerts happening. All you got to do is pull up the SeatGeek app. It knows exactly where you are. It's right behind you the whole time.
Exactly.
The SeatGeek is coming from inside the house. No, dude, it knows where you are. It knows what events are going on around you. All you have to do is pull that up, and guess what? It's aggregating all the other ticket seller sites so you can find the best deal without having to go to them. It's literally going to tell you the best possible deal for the event you want to go to. It's got that color code on it, green, yellow, red, so you know if it's a great deal or maybe you could wait a little bit. It's absolutely amazing.
Exactly, and we're going to be going to MLS matches for Decision Day, so that's the app you need to download on your phone and get tickets to a game.
That's right, and if you haven't done it already, guess what? We're going to give you $10 off. All you have to do is put in Cooligans, and one of us is going to show up to your house, and we're going to hand you a $10 bill. And if it's me, it'll probably be like a $5 bill. Add some loose change because I bought myself a slice.
Exactly. You don't get to choose which one is bringing you the money.
Nah, dude. The app itself is going to give you $10 off the first time you use it. All you have to do is put in Cooligans. So go right now to the App Store, the Google Play Store, or if you're still using one of those Microsoft phones, whatever you want to do, just find the SeatGeek app. Download that. Your first order, you're going to get $10 off if you put in Cooligans.
Yeah, baby! Back at it, baby. Woo! We're doing it. Look at this.
Yeah, huh? I still haven't been canceled.
It's a lovely Thursday, and we have our guest today.
That's right.
We normally... the second episode is for the guest.
I thought you were sliding into your Light FM voice.
I just want to get a little smoother.
Let's just bring it down.
Make our guests a little bit more comfortable.
Let's make everybody just a little bit more
But
moist.
no, we got to welcome our guest. Please introduce him, Alexis, the fellow Cubano.
I mean, come on. You've seen this guy complaining about Sandwich Cubano. You didn't put enough jamon in it. You've seen this guy in a jacuzzi interviewing soccer players, formerly of ESPN, now at LAFC, the one, the only, unless you're driving, put your hands together for the one, the only, Max Bretos!
Maximiliano.
There wasn't enough jamon in that sandwich. Let me tell you, is this really the Hispanic Heritage Month special? Is that why I'm here?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's right. This was very intentional, Max. Thank you so much for being here, Max.
Anytime, but it's like I know people. I hope people are excited. But I've sat on the couch with you guys doing the podcast or something
Thank
like
God
that.
you said
maybe
podcast,
8 times.
because people were like, "Wait, what?"
Podcast, but now you're TV stars.
Yeah, well, now we're on television, so
Yeah.
we got to bring you out. You know what I mean?
We learned it from watching you, Max.
We said,
Do you remember that commercial?
Of course.
But people younger than us remember that commercial, and it didn't air when people.
Yeah, it
it's
was,
still a bit.
It just passed on.
It's still a bit.
yeah, dad
Yeah.
does drugs.
like a
Kids do
gift.
drugs.
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
the. It was
I also
in
have a severe meth problem, Max. I need all the help I can get.
But he learned that from watching his dad, also. But remember that dad had it. It was like in a cigar box.
Yes, he goes.
Why does a kid hide his drugs in a cigar box? Why you even got a cigar box, kid?
Why you putting weed in a humidor?
Yeah. No,
Maybe it was passed on from the dad as well.
I think the dad was upset. Dude, you made my weed all human.
This is my cigar box. It used to be great, right? You can't pull a rock.
How am I supposed to smoke this wet ass weed?
Nobody wants wet ass weed. I'm told.
No, we heard. Well, you're in LA now, so you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, I know.
Max, hello, welcome to New York. Thank you for being on the show.
Wait a minute. I just want to say thank you guys and congratulations for this. I've watched some of the programs. You're hitting your groove, and I'm so happy to see you guys have this opportunity and seizing it. You guys are stars. You know that? I just want to let you know.
Well, that's why we brought you on. So I guess we could call it, right? We're done. We're done with this
I just
episode.
want to say I just want to tell you now. Just remember this. I came in at the beginning. Just remember that.
Yes.
When you're hosting the Academy Awards,
Hilarious.
and I'm in there.
Does soccer have Academy Awards?
When you're in the Hall of Fame induction in Frisco, Texas.
Okay.
Here are the Cooligans.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, and then they pull up Alexis's Twitter account and we get canceled, okay?
Tweet delete, everybody. Download it if you're in the entertainment business.
Come on now.
My tweets are set to delete automatically every 3 months.
Are they?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's something called tweet delete. When I got the ABC showcase, they told me to do it. But that's not why we brought you here. They looked at my tweet and they're like, yeah, you need to do this.
Keeps you out of trouble, man, because people always
Absolutely.
look at your old tweets. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, don't go back, please.
Don't go back at
but of course, the
2011.
Cooligans tweets, everything's perfectly fine.
Exactly. No issues there.
Talk a little bit about LAFC. Okay, so Supporter Shield. We saw a video of the fans from 3252, Jimmy Jam, and what was the tall dude? Is that Oscar?
There's Mo. Yeah. There's,
They were in the locker room?
Yeah, they brought out the Supporter Shield. The supporters are. First of all, you come to LAFC games to see the 3252. They're part of the spectacle,
Yeah.
so they are treated with a lot of respect. You have to, you have to involve them in a lot of things. They have a real part in the club.
Yeah.
So if anything gets done outside of players being signed, the supporters play a role in it, which is great. And they have their own structure. They have, I guess, the equivalent of a government, if you could call that, for lack of a better expression. But they have checks and balances. They have a real system.
Turns out the president of 3252 got caught on the phone with the president of the Beer Guardians in Dallas, trying to get an investigation going.
Oh, nice one.
I couldn't even finish it.
Impeachment.
I couldn't even finish
We
it.
want to probe.
No, it has been the last time we spoke to you at All Star, which we just for full disclosure, we have an interview with Max that we
haven't released
We
yet.
haven't released. That is from All Star, and we'll figure out what to do with it later.
What?
Yeah, we may just give it to Gully Squad. I don't know at this point.
We'll figure out
Hey, we
what
want
to do
you to
with it.
have this as an exclusive.
But where LAFC is now, because there was from All Star to now, there was the sort of a bit of a concern with Vela. He had the injury, and then and Bob Bradley put him out for a bit because they didn't want to risk having a serious injury. But it seems like he's back in a groove because his time away, everybody was like.
Yeah,
it seems like
wasn't going great.
Yeah, it wasn't going great. And then there was even talks of, maybe NYCFC can win the Supporter
They
Shield.
made it interesting.
They got close.
We got to like 4 points for a little bit. For a moment, you're like, what? All right, pump. But hats off to NYCFC for pushing. I think that's good for LAFC. I think it's good for the league.
Yeah, but after winning the Supporter Shield, there was a video, I think it was ESPN put it out, I don't remember, but of the interviews with all the players, Mark Anthony Kaye, like in tears.
Really
Tearing
emotional.
up.
Yeah,
Really
it was
emotional.
ESPN 710 radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did I guess you are closer to the players? What was the sort of sense of winning that Supporter Shield in basically the infancy of the team?
When we talked to the players a lot, you could see how important this was for them. And I think Bob really told them, look, we've created something here from scratch. And you guys were here from the ground floor. and we're going to win our first trophy, and whatever that trophy is. But, you know, they obviously identified the Supporter Shield because they knew they could put a squad together that could obtain that. And I think that's been there since the beginning. So they got closer and won that first trophy, and I think this cathartic, emotional overload came out of it all. And you know, these guys who, in case like Mark Anthony, it was Mark Anthony Kay and Jordan Harvey were on there. I think those are two guys in particular that had to feel very vindicated. Mark Anthony Kay was playing the USL, and then he gets this opportunity. Jordan Harvey's 35. Looks like the end is near of his career. Instead, he gets revitalized, and they were part of this. And I think just being in that echo chamber almost, that's not the right expression, but just being within that LAFC community where everything is internalized with the fans, you feel how special it is. So it was really cool to see that. But I think the Supporter Shield is going to probably be viewed a little differently because usually you say, hey, we won the Supporter Shield, coach gets it. You know, LAFC had this spectacle, and I think people are going to go, what's going on? I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, did they win the MLS Cup? I go, no, but the Supporter Shield I think is going to be viewed with a little bit more respect, and I think hopefully it's because of what happened on that Wednesday night at Bank of California Stadium.
Now, you mentioned, or we were talking about Supporter Shield.
Yes.
Right? Now, when I saw the exuberance and the excitement at winning it, my first thought is that kind of takes away some of the fire for wanting to win MLS Cup. If you haven't won anything yet and you're getting close to it, don't you feel like some of that had been exhausted by winning or at least celebrating Supporter Shield in that fashion?
Well, I got, you know, people talking to me that didn't know the inner workings of MLS. They go, wow, congratulations, the team won it. I go, well, they haven't won it. This is a trophy. And then
they won this other thing.
They had a kind of a blank stare. And it felt like when you look at the celebrations, it felt like the end of, it looks like a celebration you had when you win an MLS Cup or a Super Bowl. It was the end. But I could see that. I could see that if they don't win it coming up at some point. If they win it, then I'm sure they'll go do something very similar. I don't know how much more you could ramp it up because it was a party. It was a party. Yeah, parade.
A parade.
But at the stadium, it was packed, and we were there 2 hours, 3 hours later, and it was still going on. And there was champagne popping, and there was campeones, todo eso, and it felt like the end of the end of a road.
But the Supporter Shield, at least to me, definitely feels like that reward for the supporters, right? Like it is that gift of, especially
it's a trophy from the supporters.
Yeah. Yes, that. Yeah. But the fact that, especially LAFC and the 3252 and the ridiculous organization and travel. They follow the team even East Coast. They showing up with hundreds of people. Even when they were at Yankee Stadium, we met hung out with a bunch of them. That is. That's why it seems like that's why the players were getting emotional because it's
that's definitely part of it.
The supporters really kind of give it, a value because it's literally named after them.
And there's few teams where you view the supporters sort of on par with what the club is doing, and I think LAFC 3252 has certainly earned that.
They're a big part of the club. If they're like internal organs, the 3252 is one of the internal organs.
It almost feels like a South American club, like an Argentine club, where like the fans are part of the reason why you go.
Right.
Sure. You know
or they
have
a stake in the club.
Yeah.
Which they don't, but in some ways they do. They really do.
They bring steak to the games. Tell you that much.
Which is why they're my favorite fan base.
Well, what was up with the rapper, right? Murs, right? That was like, he's an LA Galaxy fan. Did you see this dude?
No.
That he was like kind of mocking LA Galaxy fan. I don't know Murs or anything. He started following us. I'm sure he's a great dude, but he's a Galaxy fan. And he was saying how LAFC fans are like kind of, they bring champagne to their tailgates, or like he was just kind of sort of calling them snobs, which is like, all right, it doesn't seem like, it's not what I've witnessed.
I think you can call them a bunch of things. You can't call them snobs. They're salt to the earth.
We've hung out with them. No pinkies are up whatsoever. No, not at all.
No Grey Poupon on their dogs.
Not at all.
No, it does seem, there is like clearly that contention between LA Galaxy fans and LAFC fans. You covering LAFC, obviously we know where your support lies, but how do you, as a member of the media to some degree, how do you navigate between the two? Because it is, I can imagine it'll be a little challenging.
Right. Well, in 2005, I broadcast for the Galaxy. I have a championship ring from the Galaxy. And then the Galaxy fans come to me and say, oh, well, you jump on that side. I go, look, I was in Connecticut. I wanted to come back to LA. I wanted to cover soccer. This club, we started talking, and they had a plan. I said, I want to be part of it. But I think when just covering the game, and I was calling some games, and there's been pushback, I think, because I'm a little bit more obtuse than the most voices of teams. Every team has their play-by-play guy, and I do all content. I'm in LAFC stuff all the time, and I got a lot of pushback, and I got a little frustrated with it, and I kind of said, the heck with it, I'm going all in. I am Mr. LAFC. I'll call it the games, but this is who I am. This is a place. This is a club that puts food on my table.
Yeah.
This is a club that took a chance on me, and we've gone through it together. So I love it. I also, on the flip side, I know people within the club like to rip it to the Galaxy. I like giving the Galaxy their respect because they deserve it as a franchise for what they did for this league, for winning these 5 championships. I give them to respect as much as I can, to a degree.
And you've never beat them.
Yeah.
There's that.
So close, yet so far.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see it in the postseason. I don't know.
We said we want to go out for that. If they play each other, we
yeah.
got to go to that.
Can we get tickets? How do we even go to an LAFC?
Do we tell them no, you have to go?
No, we'll get you tickets.
Because I've been hearing, what is it with these ticket prices for a soccer game in America?
Last Classico, the secondary market was like, what, $1,200 for a ticket?
Yeah, but that was like that was an outlier. It's a small stadium, so there's a limited number of tickets. But I remember I was at that game. I'm just sitting back, and I see Kevin Costner walk by, and I go, "Wait a minute!
Yeah,
we have gone." We've arrived. We have arrived.
Is that
JFK.
the game?
Yeah.
Straight back and to the right.
Yeah.
Back and to the right.
I won't even go to the JFK airport. And this guy's at the LAFC.
Watch Waterworld. Great film.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys come, we'll put you to work. We'd put you to work for that game. And
Okay.
you get access.
I got beer over my head.
Hey, the 3252 know who you guys are, and they love you.
Yeah, we love 3252.
I've heard personally from a couple who said we love the Cooligans.
And we don't want to go anywhere near the Falcon or the Hawk or whatever it is. We get it. You have predators.
It is a Falcon.
It's a Falcon.
It is a Falcon.
Yeah.
When maybe we'll rehash this a little bit, but it is a Hispanic Heritage Month, and we should talk about your Cuban heritage. And when we sat down with you at the All-Star game, I definitely mentioned how I've always been a huge fan of you, seeing you at ESPN for years, getting that Latino representation, but also getting soccer played on. Look,
you would wedge soccer in.
Yeah, a lot of times I'd wedge it in, and sometimes it get wedged back out by powers outside of me.
And it's funny because our producer JB worked with you at ESPN. Maybe was he one of the people keeping soccer off of television?
He was. He was. Sorry, we don't have 6 seconds for an MLS highlight. We're completely booked with like 8 treatments of Michael Vick.
People need to see a 15th clip of the Patriots.
Sorry. And now he's
That's
cursed.
basically what it came down to.
And now he's cursed having to play all this soccer content on television.
Yeah.
I minimized it. I said, okay, a minute. I can't. They're not going to give me a minute. So I went to 45, 30. At the end, it was like 15 seconds. I go, here's the highlights. It's Max. Here's highlights from MLS. Look at this great goal from the Red Bulls. And over here, the Columbus Crew. What a save by Zach Steffen. Back to you. It was that quick. And there was a lot of times not room for that.
How does it feel now getting to work in soccer, though? Now you're probably like, can we talk about the Patriots?
No, I've stopped watching a lot of. I do not watch baseball anymore, and I used to watch it all the time.
Well, for
NBA
a Cuban,
cut in half.
That's like a Cuban becoming a vegan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how difficult that is.
Dude, I don't watch NFL. I used to watch NFL. I'm just for my fantasy football team. Don't really college football, yes, because I went to Florida State, and that's the one team that will make me cry with their results. There's been a lot of crying, but even then, I mean, I've changed my diet again for sports, and it's soccer. I watch a lot of fights. I like that, but it's mostly soccer now. It's like 70% of what I watch, and I'm completely content.
Even when I watch NFL now, it's just like wildly boring, and
it bores me.
I can't understand how it was ever so popular, or why it's so popular.
I'm watching. I'm like, what do these guys got to do to get a red card? I mean, this is abuse. You know.
I mean, honestly, the NFL for me, the interesting part is the off-field drama. Antonio Brown and all that. So I'm like, this is great. This is why this should be the league.
That is actually. I think I tweeted that. I go, man, this is the best thing to happen in the NFL. This story is amazing. It'll never end. But that was compelling. The NFL has, but I think it was gambling driven. But for me personally, it's hard to
those guys are gambling with the ability to remember their names in the future. We'll be right back after this.
Nice.
Speaking of LAFC, we've talked about it a little bit. Bob Bradley, right?
Yes.
He seems like he's developed sort of a new appeal as a coach, right? He kind of understands tactics a little differently than I think when he was coaching the men's national team. But he's kind of known as someone who's a bit stubborn, right? Doesn't want to change his tactics.
he has changed his
football a lot.
He does, but he's changed his tactics through his journey. He's changed his tactics based on things he's learned and seen. So, I mean, if you look at what he's done, I think earlier in his career to now, it's quite different.
Yeah, but what I mean is this year he seems to have like a system in place
I see what you mean,
that he wants to play. Kind of hard to do without a true center forward at the moment. Christian Ramirez is gone. Diamonde had to leave. What do you think is going to happen in the playoffs? It seems like teams are coming at LAFC a little bit harder. It seems like there's a blueprint on how to play them. I don't know if necessarily beat them, but they haven't had the greatest last few weeks.
Right.
Seems like teams are coming after them a little bit, and they're kind of understanding, first, just don't let Carlos Vela get it on his left foot, and then everything else will work out. But what do you think is happening? Do you think Bob Bradley will start to adjust when he gets to the playoffs?
They'll play the way they play, and that's what they always say. It goes, we play a certain way, teams can adjust to us, and when they look at teams that do adjust, he'll say, that's not in our MO. This is how we are. So for better or worse, it may haunt the team down the road.
So why does he even go to the games? Right? Once he sets up the tactics, just go home. All right, well, you run around for 90 minutes.
Want to see that
happens.
perfect game. And there's like everything from, there's so much movement. It's a very intricate system for players to learn because it's all about anticipating for, like, it's like the Jedi mind trick, figuring 2 moves down the road. But that's kind of what they do. I think with Brian Rodriguez, the long-term plan is to have Rodriguez, Rossi, and Vela. That would be your front 3. That's their desirable 3.
Yeah.
Without as Vela as the false 9 or maybe Rossi in that position. I think they want center forwards to do so much work. So maybe it's best to have a type midfield or winger type who plays there, who can backtrack. Although there have been moments when you missed a big center forward type like Dio, certainly over the last couple of weeks. It's gonna be crazy to see because we've seen teams frustrate them, play a defensive block. I think when they lost to Minnesota at home, that was certainly the case. But by and large, when they face that defensive posture, which is most of the time, they have had success with it. So.
And you're about to go into a single elimination playoff system where teams, especially against LAFC, are just going to start to park the bus.
Yeah.
They're going to park the bus because they're going to try to stop you from playing your game.
Right. I think with LAFC, too, they'll say, we're playing at home. And throughout the entire season in MLS play, we've only lost once. So even if we go 90 minutes and we're tied, we're going to like our chances. And I think that's going to be very best case scenario. There's going to be a game where LAFC's chewing onto their fingernails if they go on to win MLS Cup. Worst case scenario, the bad game happens early and you go to the conference finals and they're nowhere to be seen. It's possible.
You mentioned Christian Ramirez. I did want to ask about that. I did see a photo of him. I think when they were celebrating the Supporter Shield, Victor, he was standing, kind of watching in his Houston Dynamo, uniform. What is
it's kind of like your Fubo TV.
Oh, sure, that's right. Yeah, no, I'm the starting striker for the Houston Dynamo.
You and Manotas.
Yeah,
but what what is it about?
He kind of does look like.
He is Manotas.
Hey, just add it to the list of players that look like.
Manotas is worth like $10 million apparently on the
He looks
transfer
like
market.
Nani. He looks like Manotas.
I'll take it.
He looks like the guy who owns the deli near me. Manani. Mi mani, which is Dominican.
Manicero. Yeah, let's stop.
But look, the fact that LAFC, it seems like the I don't know if it's a short leash with players. Benny Feilhaber not coming back. Christian Ramirez bringing him in and then getting rid of him. It seems like Bob Bradley has like an idea, and if you don't even slightly fit what he wants, he's just going to let you go. And it just seems, does that affect like the culture of the locker room that your job could be kind of, done for with LAFC?
I don't think there's been too many cases that, and they don't want to be wrong when they bring a player in as they traded for Christian Ramirez. They don't want to be wrong about that because they try to vet all the players. I think they've done a really good job with that. I think with Christian Ramirez, it was, they make players whole too. It may not have been the right mix at the very end, and him being from LA, I think people think, wow, this is a missed opportunity and he didn't quite fit there. I wonder if he's gone at second thoughts and did it differently. But I think he's probably happy right now because he's playing with a team where he is the featured guy and they go through him, even though it's not your hometown. No one really ends up playing in their hometown. But there's been a couple things where they didn't click. I think Andre Horta is another one. He's talented, but there were guys in front of him that he couldn't displace, and it just didn't hit. So you're going to go your separate ways. I think in MLS, the league is built that way, where you need to keep your unit, the group,
There's only
the
so
core.
much cap space,
Yeah.
so you better hit.
But but LAFC seems to like pull the trigger very quickly when it's like with Horta, it was just like they first game, right? Like he made the mistake and give away the goal. But
It's like mafia rules.
Right.
it's just like
Take it in the back. Bang.
But this is probably the best clubs in the world. That's how they're supposed to operate. You see it and you go, all right, this isn't going to work. We have high goals and aspirations. We need that. We need to change things on the fly. So you're right about some things fit like a nice jigsaw piece, and some may not
it just seems
be perfect.
you don't really see other MLS clubs work that quickly to fix errors or
Well, they won Supporter Shield, so maybe that's the way other teams should be.
Yeah, I think Chris Ramirez could have still been a good serviceable player there, but their goal is to say we want everything to be fine-tuned and a well-oiled machine, and that opened the door for a guy like Brian Rodriguez. That's why Andre Horta, because they wanted a different DP, and they want to have that perfect group, and I think they're a little closer to that certainly than they were at the end of last season. We'll see how much closer they are than to say when they had won 5 straight just around the end of July.
I feel like the loosest part about LAFC is you. You know,
I know.
You're doing interviews from jacuzzis. You know,
I know.
you're the weakest piece, man.
Does anyone approve what you do? Sometimes I watch the content you put out. I'm like, yo, Max is having a blast.
That was from the club. It was one of their partners, Jacuzzi. And so I said, this is a great idea. And we got a really good response. But when we did it, usually they have chlorinated water in jacuzzis, which acts as a sunblock. There was just regular water in there. So I was in there for 2.5 hours. And when I walked out, tomate.
Wow.
It was bad. It was bad.
Oh, no. You were in direct sunlight?
Yeah, I was like, bang, hitting it. And I got out. I go, my legs aren't supposed to look that way. Nor is my chest. I don't even want to look what my back looks like. Someone goes, I'll take. Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh God.
That good, huh?
Jeez.
But that's part of the job. You want to. They have a lot of partners, and you want to be able to participate in the content plays that they have with them. So it's cool. I hope they keep coming. But I'll be happy to do them. I'll just do it. I'm like the little
weird partner. Yeah. Whatever you want.
the organ grinder and his monkey. I'll do it.
Yeah. We got to get a weird partner now for LAFC. We got to help them get something weird so Max has to do an interview from
What could it be?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I don't know. I should have thought of something funny, but I didn't. And we'll come right back after this.
That's not right for you.
All right, we are back with Max Bretos. And I did want to ask because
That's the best pronunciation yet.
Bretos.
Bretos. Max Bretos.
Bretos.
I wanted to ask about the Rugby World Cup is currently going on. And I want to talk about
played
this.
rugby.
And I'm a mess because I'm staying up till on the West Coast, like 2, 3 in the morning to watch these games, which is a bad idea on my part.
Which everyone knows is 6 p.m.
We do not know anything about rugby, but I did pick up this
It's beautiful.
Japan rugby kit. I saw a bunch of people wearing. I saw a bunch of Australian people walking around wearing this, and I'm like, what do they know that I don't? Right?
Japan's
What
having a
team
great
is
World
this?
Cup.
Yeah,
They pulled off a huge upset over Ireland,
that's right.
and they could be there. It's impossible for Japan to win the World Cup, but they could make the quarterfinals, which would be an incredible achievement for them.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, how much do people care about rugby? Not to suggest that people don't, but even but even while I was there, during the Rugby World Cup, which is, I assume, the biggest tournament for rugby.
That's correct. It's still pretty new. They only had their first one in 1987, so it's still a new tournament.
So because it didn't feel like many people knew about it. Even I would say the
Japan.
Japanese people.
Okay.
There were definitely a lot of people from all over the world. I saw a lot of Scottish,
Japan's not
English.
a powerhouse.
No, they're like the second tier. They're coming up, and a lot of their players are not Japanese. They naturalize a lot of Pacific Island players or South African players. So if you look at their team, it's not exclusively all Japanese.
Yeah, because I was looking at some of these
But they
dudes.
are Japanese, but they're not.
Yeah, I was like looking at them. I'm like, all right, some of these dudes looking, they got some heavy tans.
Yeah.
You know?
Spent a little time in the Samoan region. I see, yeah.
But it is, I guess it was a sort of a spectacle and really cool to see. What is your connection with the sport? Because I guess you did play, right?
Yes.
And you played in college?
I played at Florida State, and then when I moved to Los Angeles, and I played for the Miami Trident Rugby Club, but when I moved to LA, I didn't know anybody. I joined the Santa Monica Rugby Club. I ended up playing there for 10, 12 years and got all these drinking buddies, which was huge in a new town. I highly recommend, it's soccer as well. If you move into a new town, you find a sports team, get associated with it, and it's great. So that's what I did. By the way,
I'll also give you another suggestion. Just go to a bar. You know what I mean?
it's not that easy.
You don't have to clatter into each other prior to going to the bar. You don't have to rush at huge human beings just to meet drinking buddies.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? You need a bud?
How about a
That's
book
kind of
club?
weird.
You know?
But rugby seems okay. So as a layman, I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't understand why they don't wear pads, right? Because it seems insanely violent. But I feel like there aren't many injuries or like injuries that you would expect as far as like bones breaking,
Yes.
because the game seems that violent. But why is
It's
it?
bumper cars. It looks
It's
like
not.
bumper cars.
It's not a collision sport like American football is, where
Okay.
they just run into people. There's a lot of rules in place where you can't hit people from behind, you can't hit people high, you can't really get people in a blind spot. You got to tackle them. It's about technique. So these guys are big that are colliding. So that will, if anything, running into a guy who's 240 or trying to tackle someone who's 250 is going to leave a mark. But I would say there's more injuries in American football. I would say there's more injuries in soccer because of the nature of the tackles.
Okay.
And you're coming in. I see like soccer played at a playground, not playground level, on a regular public field, and it gets a lot hairier than I would see at a rugby game. I would say rugby's a safer
Wasn't
game.
rugby seen as a more of an upper class sport?
It was.
It's the white collar sport in England. I know that.
It was in England, and when I went to other countries, it was viewed differently. Like in Wales, it was the blue collar sport. It was the everyman sport. And in Australia, there's like two types of rugby. The one we watched the World Cup is rugby union, and that's a little bit more upper crust. Rugby league, which is more collision style, more American. They have downs.
Is that Australian
That
rules?
one's a little more blue collar.
Is that-
There's Australian
That's
rules.
a third one.
That's a different
But that's like a kicking sport. That is soccer. You have 2 goals and you
Okay.
kick.
The
But the
field
guys
is
beat
oval.
yeah, it's a huge field. And guys beat the snot out of each other, so they don't kick it through the goals. That's
There's
a really
there's too many,
tough sport.
There's too many rugbies.
But you played.
That's not rugby. Australian rules.
It's not?
It's not rugby. It is a kicking sport.
Okay.
It's closer to soccer than it is to rugby.
So you played. When I see rugby,
I'm wearing an Irish jersey, and there's the Gaelic football.
Oh, I thought it was
there's the
Sheffield
Bows.
United. No,
it's the
Bohemian
Bows.
football.
Yeah.
All right.
But when I see rugby, these athletes, they're usually large men.
Yes.
When you played, were you a thick-necked Cuban, or
No.
what was?
I got the ball. When I saw a thick-necked person running, I would kick it.
Kick it at them.
But no, I got good at tackling. Technique. I'd miss a lot of tackles, but you would just wrap their legs and you'd go down. There's some guys that are big. I don't want to. This is going to hurt. But
I forget the guy
generally
who's-
was avoid too many entanglements.
I forget the guy who's coaching the Seattle Seahawks, but he taught them.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. He taught them how to do that.
Tackling in
grab
American
the
football
legs
is,
and then you
is really
twist.
bad.
Yeah.
So I think that there's probably something in it where if you had a guy who was a great rugby player and taught the right technique and not trying to strip the ball all the time, I think it could be successful for American football teams.
Is there anything that you think soccer could learn from rugby? Something that would make soccer players better or the league better? Do they have TAM in rugby?
They don't have TAM, but they doubled up on the GAM.
Yeah?
So I don't know, just the spirit. I mean, I love both sports, so I think both sports are where they need to be, and they're great, and I love to watch them. I like to play them, although I'm god awful at soccer, and people would say that there's etiquette more in rugby, but maybe soccer. But I find there's soccer etiquette there. It's some stuff. There's a competition that goes through, but then on the flip side, rugby, when push comes to shove, it could get you want to win the game.
Yeah,
Push comes to shove is the rules.
Yes.
Sure.
You know that.
That's rule 2 and 3.
you
Yeah.
shove.
Push, and shove.
shove, whatever the hell you want to do out there,
But in closing, I think Japan as a country is going to get rugby is going to really grow there from hosting a World Cup, same way we did in soccer in '94. So I think Japan after this World Cup, and every stadium's been full. I think rugby, as good as it's been there, is going to get a whole lot better.
Okay.
All right, well, I mean, we'll probably come back to talking about soccer after
Hopefully, we
this.
get to host a World Cup here, a rugby World
Ooh.
Okay.
Cup one day.
All right, baby.
Every
We're
time I look
back.
at your logo, I get hungry now.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm starving too. I would love some pizza. We were actually just on the break talking a little bit about Champions League, and MLS there's really no option for Champions League here. I know we have the CONCACAF Champions League, which we've said is the greatest competition in all of all of soccer.
better competition.
Clearly, it's the greatest competition. It's what people think about when they say Champions League. They mean CONCACAF.
They can't wait for Leon to take on Firpo of El Salvador.
Oh God, what's a good game happening in San Salvador right now? Let's go watch a game at the murder capital of the world.
Joe Public of Trinidad and Tobago. They're gonna come.
The Strongest, which is a team in Latin America. That's the actual name. Yeah, Bolivia. But
not in the CONCACAF Champions League.
Not in the CONCACAF Champions League. But let's talk a little bit about these rumors going around that MLS might merge with Liga MX. Now, you're in LA, a little bit closer to Mexico than we are. LAFC also seems like a team that might be a bit more prepared for something like that.
I would say so.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you think that, is that possible? Is that something that you could see happening? Is that something you'd want to see?
I don't know. I would like to see it, but what does it take away from the MLS season? Does it become the new? Do we move towards that being a super league? I can't see that happening because of the investment made by all the owners, right? And the same reason why we don't get promotion relegation. And it seems like a move into a super league, which would be very appealing for the halves of Major League Soccer. And that would be great, but you still have to be true to league. I don't know how you can serve both. Right?
It'd be difficult, but supposedly it's going to be like the intra-league.
Yeah.
Supposedly there'll be games played, only like 4 or 5 of them per season, but those points would count towards both regular season.
That sounds a bit tedious along the way and have a game. Yeah. I'd like to, but you got to be careful what you put on the plate because then some of that stuff stays on your plate, and it makes sense. And
it sounds like advice I get at buffets.
Look,
careful what you put.
I think MLS.
You got to pay for that. The stuff you put on your plate.
That broccoli. You're gonna,
so that's definitely not broccoli there, Max. Trust me.
You're gonna pick up the entire container of crab legs. Like this?
You better eat all them crab legs. MLS has more to benefit than Liga MX, right? For that'd be great because of you'd be front page and all the Mexican papers or whatever.
I don't know.
TV
Liga
station.
MX, when the English teams broke off and started Premier League, that's kind of what some of the rumors are circling now about Liga MX. Some of like the more stalwart teams, your Chivas, your Cruz Azul, your Club America, they want to maybe start their own league or go to a thing where they don't have promotion and relegation.
Right.
That's a big thing. Do you think that that's possible, that the halves of MLS and the halves of Liga MX just combine?
Not anytime soon, but it would be really interesting. I mean, travel wouldn't be an issue.
Travel would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, think about let's just go through our heads.
Especially since our league has to fly, with coach. You know what I mean? There's no charter flight. Could you imagine?
That would obviously change. But you think of the two Monterrey clubs and obviously Chivas and America.
Puebla, some of the big ones.
It'd be a really cool. It would be an interesting league, and I think it would be a really powerful league that could compete against those bigger European leagues. We're so far along into the MLS with expansion and so much money. I can't see it. I think there's ways to do it, like the Leagues Cup, but that didn't really wow you by any means.
It does feel like the owners, whether it's more the MLS owners or it's more Liga MX owners, they want something to happen. They want some sort of.
They're all in on it.
Yeah, it's just like, is there more money?
It's like a guy who just popped a Viagra and he's like, I gotta something.
I feel it. I don't know.
It's starting to.
I don't know who it's gonna be.
Like, look, I got 4 hours to find somebody.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about Chantrix from the previous episode.
Ray Liotta, they got rid of Ray Liotta in those Chantix commercials.
Did they?
And they have a animated turkey now, which is so insulting because the Ray Liotta commercials were beautifully creepy and awesome.
But I thought Ray Liotta was an animated turkey.
Yeah. Oh,
his face is very strange.
For no reason, a Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
For no reason, Ray Liotta just got it.
Ray Liotta, if you're watching this program, and I know you probably are, I disagree with you being taken off that campaign.
So do I, by the way. That's Christian Polanco. I got nothing but respect for you, Ray Liotta.
Where was it?
I used to smoke cigarettes.
Goodfellas. That was his.
Of course.
That's it.
No one remembers him from anything.
Does he get a pass for everything?
He just had a television show, I think, with J-Lo, and no one watched it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You know that scene in Goodfellas where he's laughing, he's doing this? What was the story behind that? He's like, ah! He's holding his eye open.
Oh, that's
you
like
guys
the
know what I'm
popular,
talking about?
the popular
He's
GIF.
like,
Yeah.
right?
I'm a clown.
Yeah.
Like that whole. That's
Yeah,
it,
he's
right?
laughing hysterically, but he holds his eye. I just tries. I go, what are you
I
doing?
do this sometimes when my eyelashes get stuck because I got long, beautiful eyelashes.
Yes, you have very long eyelashes.
got luscious
guys,
eyelashes.
can we get a tight on Alexis's eyelashes?
No,
Is
they're-
that
Is
possible?
that even a possibility?
I'm flickering them for you so you can get them.
Okay, I guess not. Anyway,
They got a close up of
I'm
me.
just blinking.
Like
yeah,
a guy
you
had
keep the
my
camera that
eyelashes.
far back. I'm just blinking. I look like I'm having a stroke, which everyone's waiting for. Okay.
Don't joke around about that.
Yeah, everyone's wildly prepared for
Do you have a
it.
defibrillator
Yeah.
here at the Fubo TV studios?
I could keep blinking the whole time. So yeah, we were talking about Ray Liotta, of course, which we planned.
so glad it went this
We
direction.
planned to bring that up when you showed up here. We're like, yo, of course we're gonna bring
this
up.
is weird. What,
I tried everything to quit smoking.
Yeah. He's like, I killed
Everything.
people. Yeah. So
But look, basic the fact that of having this sort of connection between these two leagues, like I wanted to talk about the Leagues Cup, like the fact
the
that
Campeones Cup in particular,
I enjoyed that.
I know you said Leagues Cup, no, but Campeones Cup seems like Atlanta United was like all in.
I'm fine
No,
with that.
that was a one-off, but the Leagues Cup.
The Leagues Cup seems incredibly forced. And which is fine. I like the fact that we have these fixtures is kind of like interesting.
It's a money grab to
Cruz
play the
Azul
game
was
in
raked
America.
over the coals because they celebrated the Leagues Cup back in Mexico. Everyone's critical. That's not really a trophy. I go, yeah, it's not a real trophy, but let them have their moment. It was just. It just left me with a bad taste in my mouth.
Because they was it who won? Cruz Azul won.
Cruz Azul beat Tigres.
They celebrated and they
Azul beat Tigres.
the photo that they posted of the trophy was upside down. They didn't realize
Oh,
that
boy.
the trophy was
it's
upside
two bowls glued together. It's like a bad science fair project.
So it wasn't upside down. It's just
No, you could do it either way, but I think
right.
your name is on one side. I mean,
Yeah, it's like somebody like when they're doing pottery and they kind of like
Yeah.
figure out they just don't know exactly
When they're
what's
like,
what's going on?
what is pottery.
What the heck is going on
you're
down
milling.
there?
You're
I'm
milling.
behind
right?
Christian. I'm behind Christian. My arms around him like ghosts.
God, this is, everybody knows what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
That's what you did. That's like I'm gonna try some pottery. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get my hands dirty in some clay.
I do like how MLS was like, what is it? There's one cup. Everybody play. Why don't we gonna stick two of them together? Now we're two cups. Leagues cups. What's up?
Leagues.
Cup.
Yeah.
Cups.
Two leagues.
technically
one
two
cup.
It's technically 2 cups.
2 leagues, 1 cup. Now that's a video I'd watch right there. Oh, you thought it was a shitty tournament, you say? We'll be right back after this. Still with Max Bretos. We're not letting
Still.
him leave.
I tried.
We took his passport. It's like the Qatar World Cup. We're not
By
invited
the
to
way,
that.
did you see the track and field championships in Qatar this past week? Nobody in the stadium. Nobody. Empty for the World Track and Field Championships.
Well, yeah, it's the World Track and Field Championship.
Still, it was empty at their big
But
stadium.
With a contestant trying to run away from the country.
From hard labor.
Yeah. They
No,
had it
we
at
need to
the-
finish this stadium. I know, I'm not from here. I'm Usain Bolt.
The
Get out of
runners
here.
are like, can we make the end zone or the border? Is that possible? They put the tape.
We're
through.
running to Bahrain, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you've followed a bunch of different sports. Now you're mainly working in soccer. When the off season hits, do you still have a lot of stuff to do? Like, what do you like to do? How do you relax? When you go play rugby with your friends, with your drinking buddies? What do you do in the off season? Because the off season is coming soon. Maybe not too soon. LAFC looks like a good team, but
Well, I think the plan in the offseason is to keep working and find things to keep the fan base of LAFC engaged. I mean, they don't want to say, all right, we're closed for business. They have an incredible audio-visual team there, and they want to create content with the players if they have access to them, if not, to do other things. So the plan is to keep working and find interesting ways to keeping our audience engaged. But it'll be a little bit of time off. I mean, maybe we'll do a little Mexico trip.
are you going
Plus
to
the
go to
Chris-
them? Are you going to go to the preseason? Typically, they go
interesting.
somewhere nice for preseason. you know?
There's a possibility. If there's a reason to go and say, hey, we're going to film some stuff there, we'll find a way.
Just say that anyway.
The CONCACAF Champions League. I want to see if I can get some way to follow them. We're going to go to Mexico. It's like to see if we can.
But what about speaking of the offseason, the contract negotiations, the CBA's coming up. What what do you think that's going to sort of look like? Because there might be a lockout, right? So you might have a longer off
It might be a
season.
strike, not a lockout.
What's
Lockout is when the owners.
The owners, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
The owners are like, nope, doors open. Come on in.
No, please take these shekels and just play
It's
for the
okay,
very
we're
little
locking
money.
you out.
He's like the old guy with the dollar on the the fishing pole. Come on in. Ooh, almost got you.
What is
It's
what
Robert Kraft though.
Oh, almost got that time.
what do you sort of expect from what the collective bargaining is sort of going to look like? Because the players seem pretty unified in that they might actually strike.
This is probably the strongest player negotiation angle I think we will ever have. I think you'll see the money coming into the league, and the players are going to want to see that dispersed towards them a fair bit. I keep hearing about charter flights, and I hope it doesn't get bogged down into that, but that's important too. But I think more importantly is for players to make the most money they can as a professional soccer player.
The window of a professional career is very short.
It is. I mean, there's still guys making a very little amount as a professional athlete here, and I think I'd like to see them get whole. I think you'd like to see more money come in so the league can get bigger stars there. But it's a balance that needs to be met, and you don't want this bigger distance between the guys who are making a lot of money. They don't. I'd like to see something for the American players come through. But then I'm just thinking about this in a perfect world. As a fan, you want to see that. There's no way the league can give all of this because it comes with a huge dollar sign amount, and they've got to be. A lot of clubs are losing money. If not all clubs are losing money in Major League Soccer, and you got to find ways to make sure that this league is and their teams are in the black and not in the red in the future. But right now, the push is for the players to make money, and they should. But the league. Steady growth as they've had since the beginning, I would imagine they're going to kind of follow a similar path.
What do you think about how the league has advanced from when you've started watching to where we are now? And you mentioned this is the strongest sort of angle. It seems like one of the things that shocks me, and I'll let you say your piece after I answer the question I just asked you, is
I'm just repeat your answer.
It seems to me like there's some teams that are like kind of ready to move on a bit. I don't know if it's all the way.
There's enough of those teams. I
agree, but I do feel like there's some owners or there's some ownership groups that are like, no, we could add more, we could do more, we want to spend more. And honestly, how many clubs around the world actually make money? That seems to be rarity anyway.
For sure.
So it almost feels like that's non-script. Do you feel the same way? And how wild is it from someone like you who has been around sort of soccer from the beginning? How does it feel from the beginning of time? How does it feel?
I'm old. I really am.
How does it feel to sort of see where we are now?
Let's all say our age out on the count of three.
Okay,
right?
21. Is that what we're going to say?
Right.
That's how TV works, right?
Forever. Actually bankrupt as well. Just like Forever 21.
26.
Yeah. How does it? Do you
that
think?
was a very good answer.
Yeah, thank you. Do you think it'll? I had to make it into a joke. Do you think? Do you think some teams want to expand a bit more?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's probably between 5 and 10 clubs that would like to expand more and.
None of them owned by Robert Kraft.
But I think Robert Kraft and even with the Revolution, I mean, just looking at getting Bruce Arena and signing Gustavo Bo was a step in the right direction. There's chatter about getting a stadium in Boston. It seems closer to all these things where they're spending more money than they used to be. I think we see that with Chicago's trying to stimulate their club. They know that they can't be left in the dust with all these clubs with ambition. They've got to stay at least close to their back wheel. So I think even the clubs that don't want to spend a lot of money, I'm not singling out the Revs and the Fire, even though it sounded that way, but I think they're interested. And then there's clubs that want to spend money. They're ahead of it. I think collectively they're all moving in that direction. But how far would some jump? I think that's a small list. I think the league has improved incredibly through the years with the quality on the field, in the stands, on TV. Everything is improved
on
incredibly. Social media.
Give yourself a
in the
little bit of
podcast sphere. It's
you're welcome.
Yes, you're very welcome. But look, it's so well covered. So there's some frustrations along the way, but I mean, I remember covering this team, and you didn't have traveling supporters, and you didn't have world-class players in their prime or young players from South America that normally would head to Europe, all coming this direction. It's great to see it. So, but that's been steady growth, and I think you kind of have to stay somewhat close to that. But I would love to see the tick up in ambition at some point and become a world power league, which feels like it's kind of within reach.
Feels like it. It feels like we're on our way there, and hopefully maybe some things happen that you can't say during the CBA stuff because you work for the team. But we'll be right back with more after this.
Yo, all right, we're back, and what a fun show, Max. Thanks again for doing the show.
You could tell because you started with yo.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, what a nice personal conversation with the fans.
Yo, what's good?
Yo, what up, fam?
By the way, I wore a throwback LAFC jersey, a throwback to 2018. They don't print. What did I say? Jersey hat. They don't make these anymore. So this is just for the traditionalists.
Well, look, you've been with the team from the beginning, and thank you so much for being with us. Pretty much since the beginning.
This is great fun. I feel I could empty the chamber a lot here with you guys. Be real.
Where can people follow you? Where can people watch all this great content? You hanging out, getting sunburnt.
Can I say we're on YouTube TV, which is kind of, it's a streaming service like Fubo TV, both excellent.
Yes.
But if most of our games are geo locked in LA, so if you're in Los Angeles, you want to watch the games, we have a game on Sunday for Decision Day against the Colorado Rapids. LAFC looks to make some history. Carlos Vela looks to make some history, and we also have the final game for Tim Howard. So this is one of those broadcasts that I'm blessed to
Why don't you take part of the end? For Max Bretos, for Christian Polanco, I'm Alexis Guerreros, and together, what are we?
The Cooligans! Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. This has been a ridiculous episode, but we want to make sure real quick. Give a shout out to NYC Footy. This is this kit. This is a league that
here in New York.
That NYC Footy and Cooligans FC playing, and On the Volley Apparel, the sponsor on our Cooligans FC kits. And
if I could, or did you want to?
No, go for it.
I just want to say goodbye to my grandmother. I found out right before we recorded this episode that she passed away. Abuela, I'll miss you. Dinea Luzardo, you're the best. I hope Abuelo got to enjoy the few years alone up there. Que lo disfruto. Hopefully you guys, I don't know what I believe. I don't know if it's true, but if you guys see each other, I hope you guys are resting in peace. So for Christian Polanco, I'm Alexis Guerreros, and for Dinea Luzardo, together, what are we? The Cooligans!